got a bad motor we've got to remove from our American DJ Galaxian Sky. It's the drive motor for the long mirror. Go ahead and back our cover screws out here of this trim piece. And just so everybody knows, this is I'm using a 3mm Allen bit. Gotta take off the back as well. At least the back upper. Should have a different type of screw as I've got it marked here. I keep it marked for my associates so they understand it's a different one compared to all the rest. It's more of a machine thread rather than a wood thread grip. Disconnect the motor. I'm going to go ahead and remove the mirror. Now with a 2mm Allen wrench, I'm going to get down and just undo these set screws on this mirror. Just go ahead and remove it. Now I need to extract. I've got some different nuts here. I don't know if I've got a socket. I'm going to see if I got wrenches that small to handle that. So I've got a 5.5mm wrench. Go ahead and extract a lock nut I've got on here. Got some other screws that I've got to extract. The screw I'm removing now is the one that helps it to calibrate itself. That's a long screw. And I'm going to go ahead and back the last securing screw out. motor should be freed up now. I've got now the motors, they had some longer bolts that originally came when it's installed in here. It has bolts that stick out, or screws. Let me get you some better light. So these screws that stick out to thread to lock it in, but the original motor doesn't come that way. So you end up having to back out one of these screws and use the screws from the other direction is the only way I could get it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get a drill, and I'm going to back that long black one out and swap it with another one in this new motor. Alright, so I've replaced the longer one, but now I have these, remember I had the other two that were the calibration screw and another internal mounting screw to hold the motor in. And the only way I can end up doing is I have to back these two screws out of this part of the motor here. Your system may not be set up like this, and maybe a little different, but this is just what I have to do to get this one to work again. So I'm going to back these two out here so I can, let me look. Sorry, I'm going to remove these two on the bottom just so I can be set back up again. So now go ahead and place it back into the housing. Go ahead and get this lock nut back up on here. Yow. I was worried in the beginning when I removed the first one because I didn't want to strip any screws out, just worrying about damaged stuff trying to get something out. So that's why I was using the hand screwdriver a lot for extracting, so I can get good force in there. But now that I'm putting it back together and I've got plenty of spare screws, even in the old one I can use spare screws, I'm going to try running it in just with a drill, if I got a long enough extension to do it. Make sure my extension is long enough to get over top of these mirrors and everything. I don't want to hit the mirror here or this one right here. Take your time, don't cross thread it. Alright, I should be able to get my mirror back into place. There's no real flat spot for it to set, so it's just going to calibrate itself. You just want to make sure that you're not, make sure that this tongue, this calibrating tip here, is, you want it to be above this calibrating screw. If it's below it, your laser is going to be pointing up at the ceiling, or it's actually not even going to register. So you got to get that arm above that calibration screw. We'll tighten it down. Don't tighten it too tight. It's only plastic. And there's no real force against it, besides from when it's calibrating on first startup. Tilt it back. Yeah, this motor is really binding, is what I'm feeling, compared to this one. This one's free moving, very easy. It hasn't just got a lot of extra bind to it. Connect it back up. And now we'll go ahead and get everything back into place. Go ahead and put our front cover back on first with my specialty machine threaded screw. Just start putting everything back in together in its place. Don't screw too tight because it's just a pressed aluminum sleeve. It's not really a threaded hole for it, so you could end up chewing out the aluminum. But if you do that, like I said, it's just an aluminum sleeve, so you could compress it back together to hold the screw in if need be. And I can't do my outside screws yet till my plastic cover plates are on, because that's where those outer screws go through, is through these outside points here. And I can close off the outer points once I put this cover on. I'll go ahead and do the other back side before I move it any. Go ahead and place these. Go easy. You don't want to crack out these plastic housings when you're putting your screws back in. I got my torque set to 1, but I don't even allow it to start chucking on that torque. And now I've got it upside down, but it's just to put on that last cover. Alright, so we are all set up. I got this Galaxian Sky put back together. It's time to run a test on it, just plugging it in. See how it works. So I've got it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and power it up. It's going to run through its calibration on the inside. And we can see it's already started the show back up. It's doing the wave and everything. So Galaxian Sky all taken care of.